All right, folks, welcome back to the channel today for another interview because now she's not even a guest. She's just a member of the team because y'all know who it is. It's Michole Briana, right? How you doing today? How you feeling? Looks like you're on set, busy.
Yes, I'm good. How are you today?
I am good. I am good. We're just going to take a quick prediction in the background, maybe some season 3 stuff. Okay, we'll leave it alone. We're not going to get in trouble.
Wait, there's no wardrobe here or anything
hmm
for you to see.
but listen, you know, last time we talked, I said I was really looking forward to the moment that you and as Lucille and Miss Mabel were gonna have that very explosive collision that we all knew was going to be something. And you just never seem to not impress. Once again, just a amazing scene, so much energy. Really had us at the edge of the seat. There's a couple of questions now that this has happened, and the first question actually isn't about Lucille. I would love to know, where does Nicole stand seeing this, seeing her mother turn a page that she's never seen her. Usually she's the holy Christian woman. She doesn't curse, she doesn't cause any type of commotion or anything like that in the house and breaking guitars and so on. But what could you possibly say about where Nicole stands at now?
I can say that for me as Lucille in that moment, that unfortunately that was not my focus, which is, that I was so caught up in that moment that I could almost not even see straight.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I feel for her that she had to experience all of that, and even experience what, see what's happening with her father, what he's really doing and all that. And
Yeah.
all that stuff leaves a mark. And and that's so I feel for her that she had to have that experience.
Yeah. And I think what's really interesting, always talking to you about your work and talk about the character, is we all know now the relationship you have with Miss Lucille Flenory. And
Yeah.
when you and again, and you just recently posted, which I'm happy you got to show the world for what we have seen y'all interactions, is how special that is. Um,
Yeah.
when you see moments like this in the script, and with you having a connection with Lucille, what you knowing Nicole, and really not only just embracing her, but like she's fully committed to like almost allow you be her vessel in the storytelling. Like it's almost like
Yeah.
she's rooting for you to say
Yeah.
like, go be me, do what I
Yes.
do. When
Yeah.
you saw this in the script, and I'm sure you had many conversations, what's sort of the mental process into like breaking it down, adding your own layers to it, and then delivering?
I'm gonna say this. When I saw this script, I was just like screaming for joy. First of all, I was like, thank you, God. And Shaquela wrote this episode, and I just could not thank her enough. I was so happy for the moment, to have this moment to really be able to express and get this all out. Because as we spoke before, like the season was really so challenging, to go to experience all of that as a woman and really just try to be truthful about what's, how that feels, and all of that. It was a lot. So I could not wait. I was just beside myself and so thankful for the opportunity to have this scene, and with Miss Mabel. That was, oh my goodness, like, and that was such a it was an interesting journey doing that scene, because I felt badly, because normally, I'm a very open and loving and giving actor, and I always want to make sure everybody's okay and all that. But I couldn't even ask her if she was okay or how she was doing. Like this day, I was like, for some reason, I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Until after we shot, and it actually took a few days, and I felt so bad, but I wanted her to feel at home and comfortable and all of that, and yet I didn't. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but we had the most amazing experience that day with the discomfort of all. It was really deep. It was
Yeah.
deep. And
Yeah.
but I love her, and she's such a wonderful, wonderful talent. Christine Horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I felt so bad afterwards.
I love Christine too, and I'm sure she and she always speaks nothing but high praise about you, as I mentioned before, and I could imagine that she feels a lot of the same in terms of just the magic you two created in this scene, because it was everything. And like every episode, there's so much that happens, but it's like, oh, Lucille's here. Let me put the seatbelt on. We know it's about to be wild, and you just continue to elevate each and every episode this season. Another thing that I thought was really special in this episode was you got to share a scene with Uncle Snoop here as Pastor Swift.
Oh goodness.
Woo.
That was so much fun. Oh my goodness. I love him. I think he's just so wonderful. And I love that he really takes the work seriously.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. Like, he comes and he's always prepared, and he just wants to do a great job. And anyway, he's just so cool. We've had some wonderful and deep conversations and stuff, and he is just funny as hell. Yeah. It was very hard to kind of get through that scene. I was like, oh my God, okay, don't laugh, Nico, don't laugh. But it was just great. It was great. Yeah.
So with Lucille wanting to have this dinner with Pastor Swift and making it very clear to Charles, like, I don't need your permission. I'm an adult. I don't have no curfew and whatnot. And then she gets there and she has a lot of particular set of questions, and Pastor Swift is doing what most pastors do. They preach. Right. And I don't think she got the answers she wanted, but maybe she did. But I am curious, what was it initially that she's looking for? What was the significance of this dinner for her?
I think it was kind of twofold, because she was definitely trying to make Charles jealous and make him question everything. So I think she was definitely doing that. And then kind of deep down, maybe she really kind of wanted some advice, but it was such a mix. And it's, I don't know what she would have expected, that he wouldn't, try to step, but yeah. And the whole not paying for the check thing, he was just wrong. Just, that ain't right. I was just like, you know what? That is so, but that is so typical. That is a typical thing, boy. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I bust out like, go ahead and take that back and split that right down the middle there.
Right.
And even with, and I like, honestly, the BMF fan base loves Lucille and Charles, obviously, by all of the reenactments, the memes, all that other good stuff. But ultimately, we just love the series. And while we do have these moments that people create these TikToks and Instagram videos, and it's a parody, so it's funny. There still is a lot of heart within these characters, and I think everyone does recognize that and appreciate that. And one thing that even in this scene with having dinner with Snoop, which obviously ended in his comedic like split down the middle, was that she said something that was really important. And when you sit back and think about it, it's undeniable that every single man in her life has betrayed her and broke her heart. And it kind of goes back to the beginning of the season when Lucille goes to visit her mother and has this heart-to-heart about what's kind of circling on with her life. And it just seems like it's this one thing next to the next, which, and I know that the series has, additives to for television purposes and whatnot, but thinking about that and then seeing Lucille in person, seeing how happy she is, but making a statement like that is just a story in its own. I just wanted to know, when you had to deliver a line like that, was sort of just, what was your personal thoughts about that, knowing that you and Lucille are friends? What was your personal thoughts about that?
About which line?
The statement of, like, every man in my life has betrayed me or broke my heart. as she was speaking of Pastor Swift at dinner.
Oh yeah. What are my personal thoughts? I mean, that's, you know, that's an interesting question, because it takes me back to even what you were saying about Nicole and how was Nicole feeling, you know, and all these experiences, particularly as a child, they all have an imprint on you, and how you grow up with, a father being present or not present, or absent in their presence, and and all those things. It all helps make you who you are, and those are on some level the kind of relationships that you start to attract, because you're trying to work those things out, and heal from, or just learn to understand what happened. You're processing all of these things. So I think that that she's just struggling with some of those things and putting the pieces together of what she learned. And then, and once you can acknowledge those things and go, hey, this happened, that's when you're able to go, okay, now I can assess this and I can make a change. I don't have to keep allowing this. It's like, why did this happen? Okay, if I can see it clearly, I can do something different. And I think she's at that point, and just really learning herself, learning and understanding more about herself, more on a deeper level.
That makes a lot of sense. And I guess I just happened to, like, again, think forward to say, like, I'm glad there's a happy ending here, because as we talked in the beginning of the season, and as you hinted at, it was going to be a ride, and each and every time we've talked, it's just more and more layers to it. There's never a moment that there seems to be a piece for her. Just all constantly, it's one thing after that. When it rains, it pours, and it rains again, and it pours again. We're just looking to see when the sun's going to come out for Lucille. That's the difficult part. But obviously, we as Lucille, the person, it's moments like that. It's like, okay, there's hope somewhere down here. And I think, again, that's a story at the end of this, that you can say, like, okay, there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. The last question I have for you today is, well, you absolutely said that you're done with Charles. That's it. And looked him in the eye and said, stood on toes, we got one more episode to go. That means we got 60 more minutes to decide if it's really over right now.
Right.
What might you be able to hint at in terms of the explosive conclusion of season 2 that we're all anticipating for the following week?
I don't know if I can really say much about that, except, sometimes you just have to live your way into the answers, and you play things moment by moment, and it's complicated. Relationships are very complicated, but right now, I'm gonna stand firm on 209 right now. that in this moment she's done. That's what's happening in this moment where we are right now. So we will see what is to come.
All right, listen, Black Twitter is already done with Charles, so welcome to the party. Well, because it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and they got a lot more work to do today, and I look forward to talking to you many more times, and obviously come season 3.
I really appreciate you and the kind of questions you ask, and I really do. So I thank you. It's always so refreshing to see your face and have a conversation with you.
That means everything. Absolutely does. Until the next time, okay?
The next time, love. Have a good one.
Take care.